He was a man known for his deeply held Christian faith and a tolerance of other religions. She usually drove to her PA job while her boyfriend preferred to cycle from their home in Tottenham, North London. He had just moved in with his boyfriend of 3 years, but also spent much of his time looking after his widowed mother, who suffers from multiple sclerosis. Her daughter had just arrived in London from Poland on the day her mother was killed. He was passionate about two things: his family and sport. If he was known for anything, it was a sense of fun. If there was a party to go on to or an occasion to celebrate, he would always be the first one and the loudest there. Even in this time of sadness, friends tend to laugh and discussing his life. It happens when they talk of his passionate defense of all things Arsenal, should anyone have dared mock his much loved football club. She came to Britain 5 years ago from Mauritius. One of three sisters from a distinguished Italian family, she was preparing for a great celebration in Rome, which would have united Catholic and Muslim brides. She was making her daily journey to University College Hospital, where she worked as an administrator in the neuroradiology department when she boarded the Piccadilly line train on 7 July. He was on his way to Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, where he worked as a human resources system development officer. He was on his way to a one-day course at Kensington branch of Resorts, the Camera chain. He sent a text message to his mother 21 minutes before the first blast. And that was his last parents. That's what his parents heard from him the last time. The 26-year-old and engineering executive from Hendon was killed on the number 30 bus after he was evacuated from King's Cross. His hit Calypso is still played on local radio station ZJB many years after it was recorded, but Calypso was merely his hobby, albeit a highly acclaimed one. When he was a teenager, his father caught him putting on his sister's heavy black mascara. He was going through a goth phase and had dyed his hair to match. She was due to leave London on the evening of 7th July for a romantic long weekend in Paris with her boyfriend. The day before she died, her dad was wallpapering the kitchen and she scrawled the words 6, 7, 2005. We got the Olympic bid 2012 on this day, on the bare wall. His hobbies included water skiing, quad bike riding and skiing. He had a lifelong love of music and met his fiancée 7 years ago in a rock club. He helped to set up the Ipswich and the East Suffolk Hockey Club 9 years ago. She had taken leave from her job with a Turkish textile company to improve her English. He was a former chairman of Polish Solidarity Campaign of Great Britain, vice chairman of the Havering branch of the Humanist Society, chairman of the H.G. Wells Society, and long-standing supporter of the Anti-Slavery Society, among other charities. She had just sent the text messages to friends telling them she had been safely evacuated from the tube. As well as traveling and socializing, she loved music and recently went to see Coldplay in Thailand. She worked for BBC Books and The Sun for a short time. She had lived in Luton for 25 years. She attended the mosque every Friday, but loved Western culture and fashions and regularly shopped for designer clothes, shoes and handbags. She worked as a cashier at a cooperative bank in Islington. She was evacuated from the underground at Houston and decided to catch a bus to work. Deciding that university was not for her, she moved to Salamanca for a year to learn Spanish. Her first job was in the wine trade, which took her abroad again to Australia, where she lived in Melbourne for a year. He traveled all over Europe as a product technical manager for the clothes manufacturers, Burberry. She had a successful career as an accountant in Glasgow and later the city, but she was happy helping out the homeless hostels as she was discussing the financing, management, buyouts. Her taxi driver husband described her as a devoted and much loved wife and a mother of 2 sons. He survived fleeing Vietnam as one of the poor people when he was less than a year old. She was born in Auckland, New Zealand. He was born in Vietnam, the son of a South Vietnamese soldier killed in the conflict when he was just 5 months old. On a normal day, a politics graduate from Warwick University, he would have used a completely different route to his place of work. There, on a website he helped create it, hundreds of people have posted almost 18,000 words of tribute. She was born in Tehran, but made her home in London 20 years ago. One of the last tasks she completed with her usual cheerful work was promoting a new rose at Hampton Court Flower Show, named in honor of the Brownies on their 19th anniversary. She was an optimist. Her mother is certain she would have taken comfort in the compassion and care shown to her family over the past fortnight. She had lived in London for 18 years and was nervous about visiting her native Israel because of the risk of suicide plus bombings. She missed London, people, the lifestyle, the pubs. So after completing a 2-year dental technology degree at Los Angeles City College, she turned down an offer to continue her studies at the prestigious UCLA and returned to her adopted hometown. On any given Thursday night, she could be found at Chiquito in Staples Corner, the Mexican restaurant of choice for nights out, with her friends Nell Rod and Andrea Cummings. He was the kind of man people went over their problems. He always had time to listen, said his father. His parents were killed by the Taliban when he was a teenager. He left his family in Afghanistan and arrived in Britain in January 2002 and was granted exceptional leave to stay. He was the only Afghan national to be killed in the bombings and the last of the victims to be formally identified. When he went on a 3-month trip around Ghana, Senegal and Mali last year, he was satisfying a long-held ambition. In 2003, she joined the specialist criminal law firm Reynolds Dawson as an assistant solicitor and worked as a duty solicitor in court and police stations, specializing in fraud and extradition. She came to London earlier this summer to get a taste of the big life city. She was full of high hopes and she gave her mother her usual goodbye kiss at Liverpool Street. Mother and daughter always caught the same train for Villa K and had developed a fond little ritual as they went their separate ways. Miss Taylor had just heard that her temporary contract as a finance officer at the Royal Society of Arts in Strand had been made permanent. She dedicated her life to helping children as a radiographer. She was a personal assistant who lived with a partner in Islington, North London. Coming to Britain from Ghana in the mid-1980s was almost an accident for her. The Lebanese bank manager she worked for in her hometown was forced to move to London for his son's medical treatment, and Mrs. Windover traveled with him to care for the family. When they returned to Lebanon, she remained in the UK, where she had made a new life. He followed the same routine on the way to work every day for 10 years. After leaving home shortly before 8 a.m., the IT specialist would take the tube to Liverpool Street, where he would join the early morning regulars at Leonardo's Belgian chocolate shop for a double espresso at 8:30 a.m. After half an hour quietly listening to others holding forth, he would make the short walk to the offices of Equitrust Holdings in St. Marias, where he worked. Determined to improve his English, he headed for London shortly after gaining an IT engineering degree from the University Institute of Technology in St. Martin-le-Aris near Grenoble. He shared a flat in Kensington Green with three friends and worked in a pizza takeaway. He sent any spare money home to his younger sister, but managed to save enough from his modest wages to buy a